Hello everyone, welcome to next chapter of Anatomy MCQ part 4. Anatomy MCQ for FMG, NEET PG and MCA exam upcoming next in PGI pattern. Anatomy part 4. Question number 31. True about articular cartilage. A. In zone first, chondrocytes are smaller. B. Zone 2 contains articular cartilage progenitor cells. C. Zone 3 contain calcified cartilage. D. Zone 4 contain calcified cartilage. E. Chondrocytes are active. Correct answer is A, C and E. In zone first, chondrocytes are smaller. Zone 3 contains calcified cartilage. Chondrocytes are active cells. There are 4 zones of articular cartilage from articular surface to subchondral zone. Superficial zone. It is the thinnest zone. It consists of 2 layers. A sheath of densely packed collagen with little polysaccharides and 2 cells cover the joint space, and flattened ellipsoid-shaped chondrocytes with their major axis parallel to joint surface. Transition zone, zone 2. Composition is intermediate between superficial zone and middle zone. 3. Middle zone or radial zone or deep zone, zone 3. The chondrocytes are spheroidal in shape with their major axis perpendicular to joint space. Chondrocytes are most active synthetically in this zone. This zone contains the large diameter collagen fibrils, the highest concentration of proteoglycans and the lowest concentration of water. Fourth, calcified cartilage zone, that is zone 4. It separates the middle zone from subchondral bone. The cells are small with small amount of endoplasmic reticulum and Golgi apparatus with very little metabolic. Zum. Question number 32. All are true about CSF except total volume is 250 ml. B. Pressure is 60 to 180 mm H2O formed from choroid plexus of third ventricle, formed from choroid plexus of lateral ventricle, none of the above. Correct answer is A, except. Total volume of CSF is 250 ml. The major source of CSF is choroidal plexus of all 4 ventricles, mainly of 2 lateral ventricles. Other sources of CSF are ependymal cells of the ventricles and the brain itself via perivascular spaces. The total CSF volume in adult is 125 to 150. The rate of the formation of CSF is about 500 to 550 ml per day. The CSF is replaced 3 to 4 times every day. CSF pH is 7.33. 112 mm H2O, the average normal CSF pressure. Question number 33. True about atlantoaxial joint. Vertebral artery pass through groove on arc of atlas vertebra to form foramen magnum. B. Permits flexion and extension. Permits side to side movement of head. Permits flexion only. Permits rotation. Correct answer is A, C and E. Vertebral arteries passes through groove on arc of atlas vertebra to foramen magnum. Permits side to side movements of head. Permits rotation. There are 3 atlantoaxial articulation, 2 lateral atlantoaxial joints between the lateral masses of C1 and C2 vertebra, 1 median atlantoaxial joint between the dense C2 and the anterior arc transverse ligament of the atlas. Movement mainly rotation at all atlantoaxial joint permits the head to be turned side to side as occur when rotating the head to indicate disapproval, the no movement. The important factor mainly stabilizing the stability are the ligament of which the transverse atlantal ligament is the strongest. The alar ligament is weaker. Question number 34. True about innervation of parotid gland. Postganglionic parasympathetic fiber secretomota. Preganglionic parasympathetic fiber relay in otic ganglion. Preganglionic parasympathetic nerve begin in inferior petrosal nucleus. D. Sympathetic nerve are vasomotor. Postganglionic parasympathetic fibers pass through the glossopharyngeal nerve. Correct answer is A, B, and D. Postganglionic parasympathetic fiber secretomotor. B. Preganglionic parasympathetic fiber relay in otic ganglion. Sympathetic nerve are vasomotor. Development. Parotid gland is the first salivary gland to appear in early 6th week. It is ectodermal in origin and develops from buccal epithelium, just lateral to angle of the mouth. Structure emerging from parotid. The following structure emerged from parotid gland: anterior border, parotid duct, three terminal branches of facial nerve. The zygomatic and buccal arch branches towards the temporal region, eyelid, cheek, respectively. Mandibular branch run along the body of the mandible towards the mouth. Apex. Fifth terminal branch of facial nerve. Cervical branch continue to the neck to platysma. Anterior and posterior division of the retromandibular vein. Posterior border. Posterior auricular nerve, posterior auricular artery, posterior auricular vein. Along base. Superficial temporal artery, temporal branch of the facial nerve, auriculotemporal nerve. Structures within the gland. Arteries. External carotid artery enters through posterior medial surface. Maxillary artery. Superficial temporal vessels. Posterior auricular artery. Veins. The retromandibular vein, facial nerve, parotid duct, Stenson's duct. The duct turns open into vestibule of the mouth, gingivobuccal vestibule, opposite to the crown of the upper second molar tooth. Nerve supply, parasympathetic auriculotemporal nerve, sympathetic supply, plexus around the external carotid, sensory supply, auriculotemporal nerve, except for parotid, fascia and overlying skin, which is entered by great auricular nerve, C2, C3. Always keep figure or atlas or at least Google atlas image while reading these MCQs. Question number 35. Muscle or muscles which form floor of pelvic region or pelvic floor. Obturator internus, piriformis, puborectalis, pubococcygeus, ischiococcygeus. Answer is C, D, E. Puborectalis, pubococcygeus, ischiococcygeus. The pelvic floor is formed by large levator ani with parts includes pubococcygeal, puborectalis and iliococcygeals and the much smaller coccygeus. Which of the following muscle is supplied by median nerve? Opponens pollicis, adductor pollicis, lateral half of the flexor digitorum profundus, superficial head of the flexor pollicis brevis, deep part of the flexor pollicis brevis. Correct answer is A, C and D. Opponens pollicis, lateral half of the flexor digitorum profundus, superficial head of the flexor pollicis brevis. There are four short muscles of thumb that is called pollex. They are abductor pollicis brevis, opponens pollicis, flexor pollicis brevis and adductor pollicis. The first three of these muscles form thenar eminence. All these muscles are supplied by median nerve except for adductor pollicis which is innervated by ulnar nerve. Question number 37. Which of the following statement is or are true about the sphincter of body? A. Lower 5 cm of esophageal tract as esophageal sphincter. Esophageal act as esophageal sphincter and it is not morphologically different from other portion of the esophagus. B. Esophageal and pyloric sphincter remain in topically contracted state. C. Precapillary sphincter is present in between meta-arterioles and capillary. D. Pudendal nerve supplies the sphincter urethrae. E. Sphincter of Oddi lies at junction of duodenum and common bile duct. Correct answer is B, C, D, E. That is except A. The common bile duct enters the duodenum at duodenum papillae. Its orifice is surrounded by sphincter of Oddi It usually unites within main pancreatic duct just before entering the duodenum. At the lower end of the esophagus, extending upwards about 3 cm above its junction with stomach. It is a broad lower esophageal sphincter. Lower esophageal sphincter, a specialized zone of circular smooth muscle surrounding the esophagus at its transit through diaphragm and for much its short abdominal floor. At the point where each true capillary originates from metaarterioles, a smooth muscle fiber usually encircles the capillary. This is called the precapillary sphincter. The sphincter can open and close enters to the capillary. Pyloric sphincter remains silently tonically contracted almost all the time despite normal tonic contractions of pyloric sphincter. The pylorus usually is open enough to water and other fluid to empty from the stomach into duodenal with ease. Question number 38. True about abduction at shoulder joint. A. Supraspinatus initiates abduction. B. Serratus anterior and trapezoids also help in abduction. C. Multipinate deltoid clavicular fiber is main abductor. D. Axillary nerve injury has no effect on abduction. E. Musculocutaneous cuff stabilizes shoulder joint. Correct answer is A, B, and E. That is A. Supraspinatus initiate abduction. B. Serratus anterior and trapezius also helps in abduction. E. Musculocutaneous cuff stabilizes shoulder joint. Movement of the shoulder joint. Movement is very in every direction: flexion, extension, abduction, adduction, rotation, circumduction. Spinal cord regulating shoulder movement is C5 to C8. Flexion, abduction, and lateral is C5, C6. Extension, adduction, and medial rotation C6 to 7, C8. Movement that helps place during the abduction of shoulder are axial rotation of humerus at the acroclavicular joint, elevation of humerus, and movement at clavicular end of sternoclavicular joint. There is a chart about abduction, about plane of rotation, axis of muscle, motion, humerus head in gliding, and range of motion. Question number 39. Organ which have no lymphatic supply: eyeball, brain, liver, kidney, spinal cord. Easy question. Answer is A, B, E. Eyeball, brain, spinal cord. Lymph capillaries are absent from cellular structure like brain, spinal cord, and splenic pulp, bone marrow, articular cartilage, epidermis, hair, nails, and cornea. Lymphatic vessels are found in all tissues on organ of the body except central nervous system, eyeball, internal ear, epidermis of the skin, and cartilage and bone. Question number 40. True regarding thyroid gland is: deep investing layer from Berry ligament. B. Condensed fibrous part of gland form true capsule. Superior thyroid artery lies posterior lateral to superior laryngeal nerve. Recurrent laryngeal nerve has variable course on both sides supplied by thyrocervical trunk. B. That is condensed fibrous part of gland form true capsule that is supplied by thyrocervical trunk. Thyroid gland has two capsules: true capsule and false capsule. True capsule peripheral condensation of connective tissue of the gland. False capsule derived from the pretracheal layer of the deep cervical fascia. It also forms the suspensory ligament of Berry which connects the lobe to cricoid cartilage. Ligament of Berry and false capsule are derived from pretracheal layer and of deep cervical fascia, not investing layer. Superior thyroid artery is related to external laryngeal nerve, external branch of superior laryngeal nerve, but not directly related to superior laryngeal nerve itself. Recurrent laryngeal nerve has variable relation to inferior thyroid artery only on right side. On left side, it has a consistent relation. Blood supply of thyroid gland is through superior thyroid artery, branch of the external carotid artery, that is inferior thyroid artery, branch of the thyrocervical trunk, thyroid artery from the brachiocephalic trunk or arc of aorta. Here we will stop. This was a anatomy MCQ part 4. Please don't forget to like, subscribe and comments. Thank you.